Welcome, everybody, to another Inner Growth Lounge episode. Today, I have the great pleasure to have with me the amazing Clare Garner. Welcome, Clare.
Hi.
We have a lot to talk about. Clare is a mentor of disruptive visionary leaders, helping them to build their legacy by her unique VisionHEIRy Framework, creator of the Millionaire Movement and WOW factor. Clare is on a mission to shatter shame and screw stigma, so as many women as possible claim the wealth they are worthy of and live the life they truly desire. I love it. Through Clare's speaking programs, masterminds, and events, visionary entrepreneurs feel ready to embrace collaboration, confident to stand on their story, and empowered to elevate their voice, brand, and presence. So they are seen as the go-to thought leader they know they're here to be. Welcome.
Hi. I like to keep it short and sweet, right?
I love it. I mean, I want to know so many things of what you're doing. So it's short, but it's full, you know?
Sometimes it's easier to say, what aren't you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's through your description, I see your enthusiasm about what you're doing. You know, it's unbelievable. It shows through the words of the things, the wow, and tell me if I said that right. The vision, here, why?
Yeah, so basically this was like a little download that came to me, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And I kid you not, I was just sat on the tube. We were going to the museum, the Natural History Museum, and just, doing my thing, sat on the train. And just this drop came into my mind. And it was like, because I talk about visionary a lot, right? And I also talk about being the queen, like being the queen of your queendom and that kind of stuff. And for whatever reason, it just dropped in. And I was like, you are the heir of the visionary. Like, it's your birthright. Like, this is your lineage, right? This is like your bloodline. You are here to be this visionary. And I was like, vision, heir. And I was like, yeah, it's just like, so for those of you listening, heir as in HEIR, like the heir to the throne kind of thing, right? And that was like the play on of it and where it came from.
I love it. I love it. So, Claire, how do we step into visionary leadership when we are so scared of being judged? And because we're not used to it as well, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I like to talk about the visionary, right? Is you feel it in your soul. You feel it in your blood. Like, and I always use myself as an example, because even when I was a little kid, I felt like a leader. Like, I always knew that I was here to be a leader. It's always like, you're the bossy one, or you're the one that talks too much, or you're the ringleader, all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, we're just leaders, we're just kind of learning what that means, obviously, as young children and stuff. But when you are a natural born leader, like, you feel it in your bones. And what happens, obviously, over our lifetime is we start to forget what we are here to do. We start to forget that lineage, right? That purpose that we are here to fulfill. And we start to get distracted by all of the noise. And we start to really give our power away to other people, to things, to pedestaling, to money, to people living the life that we want, to people not living the life that we want, because we're taking on board all of their thoughts, all of their hearsay, all of their own projections that they put onto us, right? Because as humans, we have a tendency to pedestal people who we feel are above us, right? Who we feel are doing better than us, or making more money than us, or showing up in a way that we wish we could, and we pedestal them. And this is what happens to us as leaders. People pedestal us. And a big part of what I teach is that is not your problem, your responsibility, or anything that you should even give two thoughts about, because what other people think, perceive, talk about, judge you as, has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with them. And so part of stepping into this visionary leadership is really evolving your identity to trust that that is who you are, and that is who you've always been, and that is who you are here to be. And so saying, actually, that is not anything to do with me. It's everything to do with them. And my role is to focus on what I'm here to do, because that's how we help more people, right? By stepping into what we're here to do.
Is it harder for women?
Well, I've never been a man, so I can't really say. I mean, hands, cards on the table. I don't really work with men, so I can't speak for the male species. But I know as a woman, we are pitted against each other, like from what feels like birth, right? It feels like we are always competing against each other. Even when we're at school and it's like, she's my best friend, not you, or she got the boy, not you. And it's just, it seems to be this constant competitiveness, but not in a healthy way. It's in a way of it's like, it's you or you. It's kind of choose. It's never let's rise together. And this is a big part of what I'm trying to shift, right? It's like, let's turn that competition into collaboration. Let's turn that jealousy into community. Let's start working together, rising and thriving together, because we are meant to be communal beings. We're not meant to be on our own.
And I noticed with women that when they stop and just observe, they love it when they're together. Because I hear very often that they say, no, if in a business or in a company, there are mostly women, you're going to have a lot of fights and backstabbing. And I'm like, why are you saying that? I keep seeing women that want to collaborate, and you keep seeing women that are against each other. I mean, I know it exists, but then again, I know this other group of women who really want to connect and thrive together, right?
And I think deep down, we all want that, but we get so lost in exactly that, right? People saying, oh, it's going to be a bitch fight, or it's going to be, catty, and it's going to be claws out, all of these things that we get told is what is going to happen if you're around too many women. And this is what we're fed from society and from, press, and everything is what society tells us to believe. And obviously subconsciously we start taking that on without even realizing it. And I think deep down we all want that sisterhood. We all want those people that we can grow with and evolve with and not feel afraid of, right? Feel equal to. But we have to realize that we've fallen into that mindset because of the way that society has made us feel. And we don't have to stay there. We just have to realize that we just need to shift that competition into collaboration.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen this with the Women Thrive community that we are going to be co-speaking in the summit in March. I felt this to my heart, like how amazing it is to have like-minded women around you. And also I see with the ladies that I work with that when we are in circles, they absolutely love it. It's like we are born to do this, to be connected, to be helping each other, right?
Exactly, because we are, we are meant to be communal beings. That is our ancestry. That is the evolution. And it's just the world that we live in has made us feel otherwise. But again, it comes from, lack mindset and scarcity mindset and feeling like there's not enough to go around. Right. And especially in business and entrepreneurial life, we feel like if someone is in the same industry as us or trying to talk to the same clients as us, we feel like our clients aren't going to want to work with us because they would rather work with them. There isn't enough to go around. And so we have to realize that abundance is infinite and that there is more than enough for everyone, and that your people will always be drawn to you because you are you. It doesn't matter if you're sat right beside someone else doing exactly the same thing. Your people will be drawn to you, their people will be drawn to them because of who you are.
Yeah, I have noticed, in my journey, at some points I tried to reach out to other women that were also working on empowerment in general. And some of them were ahead of me, like they were more known or more successful. And I was at the beginning back then. And you know how many doors I had slapped in my face? And I couldn't believe it. I was like, why do you do that? I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm here because I want first to get to know you. I'm inspired by you. And then after the door, it was like, okay, I don't want to know anything now. But how does one start if they are in that position, that they feel more fearful that somebody is going to take away from them? What should someone have in mind in this process?
That comes down to worth, right? Your self-worth and your self-belief that you are enough as you are. Because if you feel that someone else can take something from you, you've given your power away. You're not in your power. Because when you're in your power, you know that what is always meant for you will find you. But when we are not in our self-worth and we're not in our self-power, it's very easy, again, to pedestal people or to feel like someone can take something from us because we don't feel worthy enough of holding it, that it will stay for us because it's meant for us. So that all comes down to our self-worth, who we really are, the identity that we actually associate with, not the facade that we put on, but actually who we truly believe we are behind closed doors. Like when we take off the mask and it's just you and you in your bedroom, who are you? Are you worried? Are you fearful? Are you feeling like everything could be snatched away from you at the click of a finger? That's really what it comes down to, those deep conversations, those deep moments with yourself and who that version of you is. Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry, I can't hear you, Christiana.
Oh, I mute myself for some reason.
Oh, I've got you.
It's magic. So I was just saying that some people put themselves on the pedestal. And I was talking about the inclusion and the wholeness. We are all part of one thing. So, considering yourself to be something that other people cannot reach, you also goes back to not feeling worthy, right?
Yeah, I think that you have to be careful because I think there's an element of ego involved in that as well. And so we have to realize that whatever the situation might be, right? So say that you want to work with high caliber clients. Now, some people might think that you're pedestaling yourself because you're positioning yourself at that point in the market. So it really depends at where you're coming from and what the thoughts are behind it and your identity, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to service high caliber clients. And what high caliber means is not about someone earning more money. It's about people being self-led. It's about people actually being coachable, people actually being ready to do the work. That is what high caliber means. It's not about, okay, they earn 6 figures, I want to work with them. They can earn 6 figures and be, absolutely stuck in their ego and not take on board anything. So that has nothing to do with it. So I think pedestaling is really, it really comes down to the situation in itself and the true meanings behind it, behind the action, right? Behind the decisions that you're making and where they come from. Do they come from heart or do they come from ego?
What would you say it's one of the main characteristics of a visionary leader? Like they need to
being self-led. So I always say this to my clients, and I think a lot of us, especially on the social media world, right, we get caught up in just showing the highs, right? You know, just talking about the wins, the sellout launch, the 6 figures, the, you know, whatever it is, we talk about all of the wins. Now that's great. And we want to see that from a leader. But actually, what we also want to see equally, if not more so, is we want to see how you are leading yourself through the bad times, through the failed launches, through the thing that had no clients, through your moments where you feel like you're not in it, right? We want to see all of that from a leader. And this is, for me, true visionary leadership. It is showing not just the highs, it's showing the lows, and it's showing how you lead yourself through those, because it's not about the result, it's about the process, it's about the journey, and it's about who you're becoming through that journey, the metamorphosis that you are evolving yourself. That is visionary leadership. And if you can't show all of that, then you're not really being a true leader. You're being, dare I say, a fake. You know, you're only showing one side of the coin, and we want to see the whole picture.
And you know, in growth, I mean, most of the what you realize when you are growing, I mean, emotionally, mentally, I'm not going to say physically, but you know, even spiritually, is going back to being vulnerable and being real. So I understand what you're talking about being a real leader is about being human, and also not to just guide people. This is not leadership.
Yes, exactly that. And it's, I say this a lot, right? It's part of my visionary framework. It's standing on your story and not in it. So we want that vulnerability. We want to see what you've been through. We want to humanize you as a leader, but we don't want to feel like you're still the victim. We want to see how you've led yourself out of that. So obviously for me, I talk a lot about my 15-year abusive relationship, because it's a big part of my story, because it made me who I am today. And I'm by no means a victim to it, but I talk about it to show other women that your past does not dictate your future. Whatever your mountains are, turn them into your message, turn them into your movement, turn them into your magnitude of who you are becoming. That is what we want to see in that vulnerability. We don't want to see you, you know, kind of victimizing yourself. We want to see that you are human and you have struggled too. And wow, look at where you are now. So what can be possible for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So you refer to your relationship. You're a single mom, like I am. And I want to ask you, how do you run a business without burning out as a mother?
Well, I run 3 businesses. So I have 3 businesses. I am a multi-passionate, 2 multiple 6 figures, and I am on my Millionaire Movement. So I have claimed this is my 7-figure year, and I am bringing as many women along with me to the ride as possible. Let's do it together. But for me, burnout is a result of not being in alignment with your purpose. Okay, if you are burnt out, it is because you are not doing what you're here to do. You are trying to do things that are not in your zone of genius. You are trying to be all things to all people. You're trying to be, you know, the customer support, the sales, the admin, the finance, the accounts, the retention team. You're trying to be everything in your business, and you need to become the CEO of your business first and foremost. Otherwise, you're just another employee. And that's not why you became an entrepreneur, to work more than you ever did before. So that's the first thing. But then also being in your purpose, because if you're just trying to make money, right? If you're just trying to make money, you're going to wake up and not want to work. You're going to wake up and think, oh, what have I got to do today? That is not being in alignment. That is not being in your purpose. And I always say, you know, fuck balance. Balance implies sacrifice. If you are trying to strive for balance, you are not living in your purpose. Because when you are living in your purpose, how do you differentiate between what is work and what is living? Because it's all just part of living your best life. Like, this is technically work. I'm just having a really fun chat with an amazing woman. Like, I couldn't think of anything much more I'd like to do right in this very moment. And so this is how you eradicate burnout, by really getting in alignment with your purpose.
Absolutely. You know, it's so true what you're saying about living on your purpose, like walking on your purpose, because I burned out twice until now. And during that time, I did try to do everything that I should and not that I wanted. So my body just collapsed, you know, because I was pushing myself so hard that I collapsed. And also the balance. I don't believe in that balance. I mean, balance means equal. And for me, this is very hard to accept, because sometimes, I mean, this my passion, my work is my passion. And even my girls, they are my passion as well. So sometimes I'm doing both passions at the same time. Sometimes I'm more here and more there, other. So I'm not about balance either, because it gives us a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So especially for women.
Create a life of harmony. Harmony is what it should be when you're living in your purpose, because there's no separation. There's no justification of something being more important than the other. It's just all one and the same. It's all intertwined. It's all integrated as to just living your legacy, doing what you're here to do. And yes, that can be being a mum in one moment, and it can be leading someone else in another moment, and it can be creating a movement in another moment. And it's all just intertwined into your life of harmony. It's not like I only work set hours of the day and then I put it all away. It's like, if I get lit up by a download on a tube to the Natural History Museum, and I feel like in this very moment, I can't not express this, that is when you know you're in your purpose, right? When you are just so, like, it's almost like you want to burst. It's like, this needs to be expressed through me right now. I literally can't stop it. That is when you know you're in your purpose. And how do you put a time frame on that, right? You don't. It comes when it comes, and you can't not act on it.
I had times, I remember I woke up at around 3:30 in the morning. I had an idea. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, because it happens sometimes that I wake up and then I say I write it in the morning and I forget. Yes. I wrote it down. I went back to sleep. And in the morning when I read it, I was like, ooh, that's a very good idea. Thank God that I wrote it down, you know.
Yeah, and I get a lot of ideas in my dreams.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I believe that we are all here for that, to enjoy the process, not being caught in how much money, because I got caught in that as well. If I'm going to make money and how I'm going to make money. And I lost joy in the process.
Yes. And the money will always follow the service, right? Yeah. When you are living in alignment, when you are being of service, and I don't mean as in a servant, I mean we're here as humans to serve others, right? We're here to help humans. We're here to help raise the vibration of the planet. That's what I believe. So that means being of service in whatever way you're meant to be of service. That could be creating art. That could be being, a leader. It could be, anything. Like, could be anything. But when you are being of service and you are heart-led in what you're here to do, the abundance will follow, because that is just the law of reciprocity. It will just follow you because you are doing good in the world.
Yeah. I was writing a post the other day and I wrote, if there is no joy, it's not success. Like
100%.
Yeah. Yes. You can be earning the money of the world, and if you don't enjoy it, what to do with it? What's the point?
Yeah. It's like, I was speaking to one of my mentors the other day, and she is an 8-figure entrepreneur, and she just has the most beautiful life, right? Absolutely beautiful relationship, beautiful community, like just beautiful. And she was saying that she was actually speaking to her partner, and they were like, hypothetically, if someone said we could swap our wealth now for Bill Gates, let's say, would we do it? And it's like, no, because they have everything that they want. Their success comes with joy, it comes with love, it comes with bliss, it comes with harmony. Why would they need more? You know, money is just a tool. It's just an amplifier to help us on our way, to help us do good in the world, to help us live our best lives. And I am an absolute advocate of wealth and everyone being worthy of it, hence the wow factor. But it's not the means to the end. It's not the reason. The reason has to be the purpose, and the money will follow. The money is the byproduct.
True. Love it. So, Claire, if our viewers want to reach out to you, where do they find you?
Yeah, I'm most prolific on Instagram. So you can come and find me at Clare Garner Official. I like to hang out there. So hit me up in the DMs, and I'm not a bot. I will always respond myself.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you so much, Claire, for being here. I'm sure we can talk for about an hour if we keep going.
I love it.
It's been a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for all these amazing insights.
Thank you so much for having me.